Hey guys, welcome back. I haven't done a video in a while. Things have been crazy around here. Busy with obviously booking lots of trips for folks' summer vacation, but also getting ready for the end of the school year myself. So I did want to kind of pop by and say hi, happy Pride Month. It's an exciting time. I used to live in New York City, so I had several friends that were LGBTQ. We'd go down to the parade, we'd celebrate. It was a great time. I think it's a really great time to think about ways that we can celebrate the people that we love who are part of the community, the LGBTQ community. And I'd love to address some travel questions that I get a lot of times from folks who are worried about safety when traveling, who identify as LGBTQ. So, really kind of thinking about the destinations, the vendors that are really going to welcome and be friendly towards that community, I think is really important. Whether you're traveling as a couple, you're looking to do group travel and maybe meet some other people, or you're traveling as a family, feeling safe, feeling welcomed is really important. So I think that it's, a good time, obviously, to celebrate Pride Month, to talk about some places and some vendors that you guys can book with, or talk to me and I'll help you book. That will make you feel that way, that will make you feel safe and welcome. So we're going into summer vacation season. A lot of people obviously are planning those vacations. And, there's some great places that you guys might not think about that are friendly to the LGBTQ community. In the United States, we do have a lot of places, obviously New York City, San Francisco, Miami are all fantastic places, Palm Beach, that are really going to be welcoming and inviting. In Canada, if you live in the Northeast, you've got Toronto, which has a great and vibrant community there. But let's, think about some other places. Now, obviously, even in the US, I'm going to say Disney. All of your Disney parks and destinations, your Disney Cruise Line, Aulani, and your Adventures by Disney are going to be LGBTQ friendly, and they're going to be welcoming. So always a great experience. You're going to get that high level of Disney service, and you're going to feel welcome and embraced. And I was just in the Disney parks. There's some fantastic merchandise celebrating Pride Month, and a lot of families that were decked out in their rainbow gear and really feeling that spirit and really feeling welcome. So obviously, for me, that's always going to be a destination or a vendor that I recommend. Now, talking about getting sort of out of the US and the kind of the best places to go, I'm going to start in the Caribbean and some places that I think are really welcoming. Obviously, your US and British Virgin Islands are going to be very welcoming of folks that identify as LGBTQ. You've also got places like the Caribbean Netherlands and Curacao and Martinique and Aruba, and they're all going to be really fantastic places that you can visit and feel welcome. The Dominican Republic is long been a place that, especially for all-inclusive resorts, that are a good value, especially flying from the East Coast. You can get really nice flights into the Dominican Republic and stay at a fantastic all-inclusive there, and it's not going to break the budget. And Cancun. People might not always think of Mexico, but Cancun has been a fairly welcoming place, especially recently for folks that identify as LGBTQ. So a lot of really nice options in the Caribbean that I feel absolutely comfortable sending people to, and can recommend resorts that I think are particularly friendly and welcoming. Some other places to think about, obviously places in Europe, some cities specifically, like you've got Copenhagen, which is going to have Europe's longest running, let me make sure I have this right, the oldest openly gay bar. It's just celebrated its 100th birthday. So it's got a really edgy scene there in Copenhagen, and Denmark is a really fantastic city to visit, and you're going to really feel welcomed, and it's going to have a vibrant community. Other places in Europe, let me just see. Spain, the coast of Spain, there's some cities there that really kind of celebrate Pride very well and have very vibrant LGBTQ scenes. So if you're looking for something maybe a little bit beachier, or maybe a little bit more exotic, we can go to the coast of Spain. And there's some places there that really have there's a place called, I may be pronouncing this wrong, Stiges, that has the oldest gay discotheque in Spain. So again, some really cool places that you can visit in Europe. Berlin has a really, really great scene. Maybe not, listen, if you're going with your family, that's great, but maybe this is something for couples or groups to visit who may be into some fetishes. Berlin has a really cool scene and is really active, so it might be a great place for you to think about if you're going with a group or maybe as a couple. Mykonos. Mykonos is an awesome island in Greece. It's one of the Greek islands, and in the summer they bring in like world famous DJs from all over the world, obviously, if they're world famous, but they have a really great scene there. Obviously not just exclusively LGBTQ, but very friendly, really kind of open if you're into partying, but they've also got fantastic and beautiful beaches. I did part of my honeymoon there, and a really cool sort of, I wouldn't even call it downtown because it's so tiny, but they're like main town area. They call Little Venice. Tons of little alleyways and streets and awesome restaurants and great food. And so Mykonos is a place to think of for sure that you guys might not have considered. Where else is, Reykjavik, Iceland. Iceland's been huge and surprisingly huge in the winter because you can see the northern lights. And they've got that big blue lagoon, which is that huge thermal baths. It's like the size of a football field. Glaciers. I mean, it's just a really cool destination. It's also stunning in the summer. You're not going to see the northern lights in the summer, but Reykjavik is a great place for families, LGBTQ families, or folks traveling who are interested in seeing something a little bit different. And then, let's think about some other places. New Zealand. If you've always kind of dreamed about going down under, New Zealand is a great option. Very LGBTQ friendly. And, if you are like me and a nerd and you watched Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, you know how stunning the landscape is there. Definitely a cool place to see. And again, a place that I would certainly recommend for you to travel. And then, in terms of thinking kind of outside of that, let's be honest, South and Central America has not traditionally been very welcoming for folks that identify as LGBTQ, but Uruguay is a tiny little country and very progressive. They have legalized same-sex marriage. It's going to be a place in kind of South and Central America where you can go and feel welcomed. So if you guys have wanted to visit South and Central America and have been, a little bit hesitant to do so, understandably, Uruguay is a great choice for that. I'm trying to think if I've missed anybody who's on my list. Let's see, we've got all of that. We've got Canada, New Zealand. Yep. So we've hit everybody on my list. We've talked about the Caribbean. And then obviously we've got cruises. Cruises are going to be a great option. All of the cruise lines are going to be friendly. You might want to consider the stops. Obviously, if we're stopping in places like Honduras and stuff like that, Colombia may not be the best choice of a cruise, but if your cruise is visiting Puerto Rico, San Juan, Cancun, Aruba, Dominican Republic, great choices. Jamaica's not a great choice, so if your cruise is visiting there, that might be the day that you hang out on the ship while everybody else gets off. Again, whatever you're comfortable with, your degree of comfort level is where I'm at in terms of helping you plan a vacation that's going to be right for you. I certainly didn't hit every spot in Europe. I certainly didn't hit every spot in the US, but those are some suggestions that I have in terms of some friendly locations that you may not have considered for your next vacation. There's also a lot of group tours that are going to be LGBTQ friendly. We have Kontiki tours, which are really geared towards a younger adult under 40, but again are going to be LGBTQ friendly. So you're going to have great tour guides that are going to help you stay safe and stay comfortable, and kind of guide you through the process of whatever country you're visiting and make suggestions for you. There's also Uniworld does river cruising, and they've now got an entire line of river cruise ships specifically for sort of that younger adult, that under 40. And you're going to see a lot of great countries in Europe and amazing cities, and river cruising is a really great way to do that because many of those major cities are going to be built along the waterway. So when you're porting on a river cruise, it's not like an ocean cruise where you've got to sometimes take a transfer to get anywhere that's of interest because those ports are huge. You're going to be docked right in the heart of a city, so you can step off of that river cruise ship and walk to many of the things that you want to see. Many of these cruise lines have bikes on board that are free to use, so you can cycle through the city if you don't want to take a guided tour, and they're going to give you a lot of really great options. So again, a lot of things for you to consider. If you have any questions for me about LGBTQ friendly destinations, vendors, or travel, put them in the comments, reach out to me, always happy to help. And with that being said, happy Pride Month, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great time celebrating what makes you uniquely you, and really, really feeling that pride because you are loved and you are appreciated and you deserve a vacation just like everybody else. So again, if you have questions about travel, reach out to me. Happy to help, and I will see you real soon.